Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on when and where you are watching. I am PlainGuy, and this is the PlainGuy Show. On this episode of the PlainGuy Show, we got to sit down with one of my favorite UK streamers, Mr. Weavers himself. Andrew's streaming over on Facebook. He runs a lot of COD and some fun Rocket League. We got to sit down and talk about everything from mental health, balancing life, the amazing group at Norfolk and Chance, and so much more. I hope you guys tune in, enjoy the episode, and have a good time. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. It means nothing to you and everything to us. The more this community grows, the more opportunity we have to continue bringing you guys amazing content like this. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I introduce you the one, the only, Mr. Weavers. Ladies and gentlemen, as promised, Mr. Weavers himself. Weavers, how are you doing today, my man? How are you?
I'm very good, my man. How are you?
I am absolutely stoked to have you here. From the first time that I watched you, Weavers, the accent, I've said this before, the accent on you UK guys, it is goddamn unfair. I can just put you guys on my phone, set you off to the side, and listen to you for hours. My wife doesn't mind it either. I'm not going to lie.
By all means, please do.
As you guys seen in the intro, Mr. Weavers is streaming over on Facebook Gaming. He has been running some Call of Duty, some Rocket League, and the odd version of Minecraft. We won't go into it, but it's there. You can check it out for yourself. Mr. Weavers has been on streaming for about the 7 months time. He's starting to grow quite the community, quite the followers. He is part of the Norfolk and Chance group that runs Call of Duty tournaments, all kinds of stuff going on over there through their Discord, through their Facebook group. Be sure to check them out. Mr. Weavers, we like to get this started off with one simple question.
Yeah, what's that?
Cat dog, cat dog, cat person, cat dog, cat dog, mother, cat person. Oh, I'm not editing that out. Cat person or dog person, and why do you hate cats?
I am a dog person. Say hi. This is Leo.
Hi, Leo.
And I am a dog person. Absolutely love dogs. Love them. Big dogs, small dogs, skinny dogs, fat dogs. Love them. Absolutely love them. We live in rented accommodation, and it was a cat or nothing. So right. I've had animals my whole life. So we went for a cat. I've always had cats as well. I don't dislike them. They're just not as people friendly. Yeah. So I am a dog person, to answer your question, but I have a cat. And he's more like a dog. Josh stayed with us at the weekend, and a couple of other Norfolk and Chance lads and their other halves. And they will tell you, as far as cats go, he's a legend.
I've got one of those. When they're more dog than cat, it's awesome. You know,
absolutely.
The joke was always my wife wanted a cat. I didn't. So we compromised and got a cat. It's pretty much how we got our second cat. I brought one into the relationship. We got a dog together. And then before we got the dog, she wanted another cat. I'm like, well, you realize, like, I'd rather 2 dogs and 1 cat than 2 cats.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'd love a dog, but just not yet.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we'll settle for him.
How does your cat like it knowing that he's the consolation prize?
I mean, I don't think he really knows. And even if he does know, he just needs to, enjoy it while it lasts. Otherwise his life could become a bit miserable.
Absolutely. I love it, man. I love it.
I feed him.
Yeah. So he has to like you.
Absolutely.
Right? I feed my cat only because he screams at me. I have a cat that his food bowl, it doesn't matter if it's full of food. You have to put food in it. If he can see a speck of the bottom of that bowl, it's crying to feed me. And he just wants, like, there's all kinds. He just wants that fresh food in.
Yeah.
He's an asshole. And he'll yell at you every morning. Every morning. Hey, you. I can almost see the bottom of my food bowl. Fill that. Fill that, human. So guys, the one thing different you'll notice at the overlay on the screen, we do have the text shout to the number above. It's a mental helpline out of the UK. Weavers, is something I wanted to talk to you about. You're pretty open on stream about mental health, the importance of mental health, dealing with tragedy, dealing with problems. You know, you've talked about it on your stream, but give us kind of a bit of a rundown on you know what I mean, your process when it comes to this, why the reaching out about mental health is so important to you.
Sure. So I mean, I was for years and years and years never surrounded by any mental health. Was always sort of under the impression that if things were tough, you just deal with it. Yeah, especially as a man, growing up, you just deal with it, get on with it. And I probably, without realizing, suffered with sort of anxiety, depression for a long time, never wanting to talk about it, never having the right friendship group around me to feel like I could talk about it, never really wanting to open up to my family because I felt embarrassed. And then sort of after having children was probably, it started getting worse because you realize that actually your life's not going to change massively. You know, you can't just go and change your life, so to speak. Yeah, I can't just move away and start afresh. I can't just go and start going out in the evening to fill social voids and so on and so forth.
Right.
And I would say that in the last, probably not the last 3 months, but before the last 3 months was 6 months of the worst time of my life mentally. And to go back to the whole reaching out thing, the biggest thing that I would never have done in the past that I would say to anyone struggling is to just talk, find someone. It doesn't matter who it is, just find somebody to talk to, because the minute you get it all off your chest and then someone starts giving you a voice of reason and giving you ideas on how to move forward, all of a sudden everything seems so much easier. My mental health stemmed, as probably a lot of people's does, through work and through stresses of work and work-life balance, etc. You know, I was in a relatively high role in retail as a manager in a sales team, and I was just going day to day without dealing with the pressures. And on paper, I was very good at my job. If you looked at my sales figures, etc., I was very good at my job. However, I'd always beat myself up that I wasn't doing enough. I'd always be worried about the following week, whether I was going to deliver target or not. And I was never dealing with it the right way. I was just letting it bottle up. I'd been with the company for 6 years. So, you know, I would have thought by then I would have found the way to deal with it. But again, because I was never really introduced around mental health and never really spoke about it, I just thought I had to deal with it. And then in the end, things just started crumbling around me, and everything broke down, including myself. I broke down, not afraid to admit it. And if it wasn't for my fiance and my parents and my kids, I probably wouldn't be here right now. That's the honest truth.
Well, that is something definitely deep. You know, gives me, I know, something to think about, and even a little bit of goosebumps and inspirational at the same time. You know, I've never talked about it on stream. I definitely had my fair share. I didn't believe until 3 years ago that anxiety was a thing.
Absolutely.
I heard about anxiety, and I was the same way. You have a bad day, you pick yourself up, you brush it off, and you just keep going. That's how life is.
Yeah.
Right. And I remember, people, they talk about anxiety. I'll be the first to admit it. In my previous self, I laughed at it. I said, anxiety is not a thing.
Yeah.
Until you deal with it. And the same thing, anxiety, depression. Right. And it is, no one really, you know, everyone's experience with it is different too. I think that's important to note, right? How I may deal with something, you know, you may think that someone else is soft because, you know, what got to them, but it affects everyone different. Everyone deals with it differently. And I know the effect it had on me, and you're right. It's near crippling. I don't think, you know, thanks to my wife, I managed to pull mine out earlier than later. Yeah. But it's definitely a thing, right? Laying down at night and your brain just, I mean, my wife used to ask me, what do you mean your brain won't stop? And I couldn't explain it. It was like a squirrel on caffeine, one idea to the next, the next, the next. And it would always lead down some worrying rabbit hole about, like you said, are we going to hit sales target? Mine would be, you know what I mean? Oh, we got to get groceries this week. We got to do this. We got to do that. Like just the anxieties of what were to come.
Yeah.
And it is through reaching out and talking. You are right. It seems like talking to somebody isn't going to help, but actually just saying, the day I was able to say out loud that I deal with anxiety and depression took a huge weight off my chest. It didn't end the fight. It's not like once you admit it, it's over.
No.
And you know it's something that'll continue to come back and you are going to have to continuously fight it. But just talking to someone and getting it out in the open, man, you are right. It feels like an elephant is off your chest.
Yeah, absolutely. In the moment that you accept it for yourself and go, do you know what? I've got this problem. And actually you realize there's people that can help you. You know, I'm on medication and I would probably say I'm at my happiest point that I can remember in years. So I'm not afraid to be on that medication if that's how it's going to make me feel, especially when I have a lot of commitments and people to look after, you know, my family and myself, more importantly. And, you know, I think, you know, I said to you that I wanted to discuss this
absolutely,
because actually for someone that has suffered with mental health, and by far, you know, it can sound bad that, you know, I have had the thought, do I still want to be here? Yeah. And it's not a nice thought to have. However, there are people a lot more worse off. I have friends that suffer really badly. But especially as a streamer and other streamers that may come across this show, it can be tough for a streamer when they're looking at their insights and their numbers, and that can put you down a road where you think, oh, I'm just not good enough. So in terms of mental health with streaming, my biggest advice would be to just don't worry about the numbers. Everything will come. You know, I've had tough days where you've looked at the end of a stream and thought, wow, was it worth it?
Yep.
But then the last month, wow, it was worth it. You know, and it might dip again, and then it might take a high again, and then it might dip again, then it'll take a high, and then it might not go anywhere. It might just stay the way it is. But I've also found myself in a position that I'm developing great friendships with a great community, a part of a great team that I'm sure we'll touch on a bit later.
Absolutely.
So, you know, mental health, I would say, and again, like you were saying, didn't really believe in it. I always thought it was a cry for attention and a way to get out of things and a way to make their life easier and for people to feel sorry for them, etc. And that's not the case. That there are different levels of anxiety, depression. There's different levels of mental health, and it's the way you deal with it. And the point I'm trying to make is just never deal with it alone, I guess.
Yep. I think that's a really solid point. I think, again, it's, you know, the streamers, I want to touch on where you talked about the numbers and looking at the insight. Until you've made it to a certain tier of streamer, in my belief, the numbers are important, but they're not. You got into streaming not for numbers, not to look at numbers on the screen and how many people would watch you. Let's be honest. That's how we all got into streaming. We all got into streaming to play games, have fun, and interact with the community. That's why we all started. So at the end of the day, if you're doing that, we get in our own heads, right? We look at those numbers, and I've had those streams too. I remember I've had those, man. You look at it and you go, wow, that sucked. And it definitely, you know, it never beat me up too bad, but there was times, do I keep doing the stream? Do I keep, why am I doing this? Why it's not working out? I never had plans on being a big streamer by any means, but at the same time, I had to look back and I go, why did you start this? You started this to play video games, have fun, and meet people.
Yeah.
Fuck the numbers, you know?
Absolutely.
Hey, Facebook and your algorithms. Fuck yeah. I don't care. If I'm going to be a variety streamer, I'm going to be a variety streamer. If I'm going to, you know, if I want to just sit around and chat with people, you don't have a just chatting option until I'm partner. Fuck yeah. I'm going to put some game up there and we're just going to sit around and chat.
Absolutely.
Right. Get back to what it is that you do, that you enjoy. And I think any streamer that may be struggling, that may be watching this, remember why you got back in it, or remember why you got in it.
And just ask yourself what you're going to do if you don't. Okay. So you sell some of the equipment. Yeah. You make a quick buck and you go back to just gaming on your own in your room. Okay. You're still not earning money from it.
Yeah.
You're still not famous.
Yeah.
You're still not got 1,000 people watching you. Yeah, unless there's a mob outside your window. Yeah. You're going back to do the same thing.
Yeah.
Why not just grind it out? Yeah. Continue to do it, because you may have one person watching, but and I always hear JD Hawk, who you interviewed before, say it.
Yep.
Yeah, that one person is taking time out of their day to watch you whilst you entertain them and to support you. So whether you've got 1, 10, 50, 100, 1,000, it really doesn't matter. Like you say, think of the reason why you started doing it. And if you stop, even though you know deep down you love it, you enjoy it, if you stop, what are you going to do instead?
Yep. You're
just going to do it to yourself.
Yep.
You're not even going to be able to interact with a single player game by talking to 1 or 5 people. So,
I don't know if I could go back to playing games now without streaming. Just like I honestly do play them, but I like talking while I do it. I've always
if for any reason I decided to stop, I'd either do one of 2 things. 1, sound nutty, because I'd just be talking to myself as if I'm talking to other people, or 2, I just wouldn't game at all. And I couldn't imagine doing that. I really couldn't.
Let's be honest. Streaming is just an excuse for you to sound nutty and get away with it.
Absolutely.
The only reason they haven't committed you or admitted you to the wacky house yet is because you sit there and go, no, it's okay. I'm streaming. I'm talking to strangers on the internet.
And don't forget the point where you get extra game time in because the missus knows you're streaming. You're not just playing games being lazy. You're streaming, trying to make something for yourself, so you get extra time.
I use that same line with my wife.
I can't let her watch this now.
You just realized that you need to block her on I need to block her on YouTube. All right, you just
absolutely. How did that interview go? Oh, we just cancelled it.
Yeah, it just didn't work out. It just didn't work out. You
don't look at my page for a little while.
What is it like? We talked about that where it comes to balancing that home, that work life, that gaming life, that time with the wife, time with the kids. Is there more hours in the UK than we have over here in a day? I feel like to fit that all in, there has to be.
No. I mean, if you asked my fiance, she'd say, have you got enough hours of the day to stream? Because it feels like it. Or to game. I think I was very selfish when I first started streaming. I was very selfish around it. My fiance Kaylee, she didn't really care for it. She wasn't interested. I didn't get her involved. And I was very selfish with the time. And that ties into my mental health. You know, I was very like, well, this is my getaway. I'm going to sit here. I'm going to play games. And I don't care what else is going on because I don't have to think about it when I'm playing games. However, I think it is difficult, especially the type of streamer I am when you're doing tournaments in Call of Duty and they're set times and, you know, you're looking at your rota for the week. Can I make it? Yeah, but it's only going to give me half an hour when I walk through the door to get upstairs. I'm finding that the best thing to do is to always talk to my fiance, always reason with her. What time can I have? You know, and sometimes she'll say, well, if you can do this for me, you can go on earlier or you can stay on later or what have you. She almost controls part of my schedule. You know, we have set days off. Yeah. So I will always be off on a Sunday. And as recently, generally a Monday, I had today off. I normally work, but I had it as a booked day's holiday. So I done a day stream, a little bit of Minecraft.
Loved it.
Oh yeah, I loved it. But yeah, so I'd normally have Sunday, Monday off. And then again, like if she really wants me to be off and I haven't booked in for a tournament and I haven't said, yes, I'm going to play in a team, then I might just have it off and vice versa. If I decide I can't really be bothered, because sometimes, you know, people think it's just sitting behind a desk playing games. It's a lot more than that. It takes a lot of energy. You know, don't get me wrong. It takes more energy to go, yeah, let's do it than when you're doing it. When you're doing it, all of a sudden the energy's there and you're loving it again. But it takes a lot of energy to go, actually, I am going to go and do it again tonight. So, you know, again, with time for her, we have the set days, the set evenings that I don't play. I try and make sure that one of them is on a day that I'm not working, so that she has the full day.
Right.
And apart from that, the rest of it is sort of for me. One of the biggest things is I do have two young daughters. One at the age of 3, one at the coming up to the age of 2 in September. And the biggest deal that we have, unless we have made a deal, as most couples do, well, you do this for me and I'll do this for you, is that I do not go and game or stream until they are in bed, which is, once they're in bed, it's fair game.
That's solid. That's solid.
Which, to be honest, with everyone, even people that don't have children, the streamers I play with, that fits their schedule as well.
Yeah. Yeah. They've normally got stuff going on. You know what? That way you're not missing out on any time with the kids.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
The only time you're not available and ready for the kids is when they are sleeping. So that's pretty fair. That's a nice balance to have.
Yeah.
The more streamers I talk to, the more they talk about this balance, and especially, I've interviewed streamers without kids and with kids.
Yeah. And
it's I can't imagine. I don't have any kids. It's already hard, I find, to find time to stream in our life, right? We've got the dog and which is nowhere near a child. A lot
of commitment still though.
We both work full time. As you've seen, I drive a hookie. I feel like it's called a hookie in the UK, but a tow truck.
Hookie.
A hookie. I don't know.
Okay.
Like you guys would call it a hookie.
Believe it or not, we call them a tow truck.
Oh, son of a, the one word we can't pick on you guys for. So yeah, the hours are long and everything like that. When I get the days off, it's the same thing. We figured out, hey, look, we get weekends off together. Every second weekend we're off together. So
yeah,
that's our time. That is where I won't, if I do a stream, it's because you've got to go out and do something during the day. Maybe I'll run a stream, or that night, if you know what I mean. You've had a long week, you're going to bed early, fine, I'll run a stream that night.
Yeah.
But then the Mondays, the Wednesdays, the days that we're doing this, these are the days where it's like, okay, this is my days. I gotta.
There's a cat.
Yeah, the treat bag is still over there, and he realizes it. He knows it. He knows it. Why do I hate cats? Because they're assholes. And he's out of here.
And he's gone. Treats. Yeah, he didn't like that. He didn't appreciate that comment.
No, he didn't appreciate that. No treats for you. I'm out of here. All right, fair deal. So no, the time that you find is important, and there's already not enough hours in a day, and to find the time to do the streaming that you do, the tournaments that you do, then spend time with your wife, then spend time with your kids, and work a full-time job. It is damn impressive. It's a hell of a grind.
Yeah, it can be tough. There was a gap in between when I started streaming, sort of the middle. Yeah, just before I joined the team. There was a gap where I was unemployed and was also on a furlough scheme where I wasn't working because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
So I did have time. It was easier to balance.
Right.
But even now, I've not long started a new job. And the shifts are working for me, that I don't have to. I'm lucky enough not to have to sacrifice family time or streaming for the new job.
Right.
So it sometimes it can be tough because you're, if you have a tough day at work and then you're like, oh, I've got a tournament tonight, that's 3 hours.
Yeah.
And I cannot stress enough, there is nothing more stressful in streaming than streaming a Call of Duty tournament when you're in a tournament mode in your mind. Yeah, after any long tournament, I'm like, wow, I'm done. It has zapped every inch of energy from me because when you're playing sort of what we call chilled out sexy vibe games.
Yeah.
There's no real, there's a bit of rage, but there's no real sort of competition going on. It's just you're trying to practice your craft and get better at the game. When you're in a tournament, there's money at stake, there's reputation at stake. It's stressful, especially then if in the first half of the tournament the team's dragging you along and you're thinking, God, I'm not doing well, or vice versa, you're dragging the team along and someone else, you're trying to motivate someone else to be like, look, you've got this, you've got it, keep going. Because it's easy to slip yourself into a state of, well, I'm playing like shit, so it's not going to get any better from here, so I may as well moan about it. So it is difficult. It is a strain on the brain, and And at the end of a tournament, you're like, I'm going to end my stream there, guys. Catch you on the next one.
Well, you talk about these tournaments and everything, and we did mention it earlier about the Norfolk Enchants. They are a group that run a lot of these tournaments with you. It is kind of a group of, it's not all just streamers, it's just gamers in general, right?
Yep.
How long have you been a part of it? What has Norfolk Enchants done for you? Kind of give us I know Josh was one of the founders originally, like we've seen on some other episodes. I met you through him.
Yeah.
So kind of give me the rundown, what they do for you, what it's about, all that good stuff.
So before I started streaming, I actually, and I don't know how, I followed one of the founders of Norfolk Enchants. I don't know how. I do not remember following him. Not a clue. I got a notification to say he was live. I was watching him. And that was at the time where I was on unpaid leave from work. And I was watching him, and he was going into tournaments and stuff. And I was like, hey, if I get some streaming gear, like, would I be able to do a co-stream with you? And would you help me, like, understand the ropes, etc., etc.? So I always knew about Norfolk Enchants before I'd even started streaming. I did play with that person a few times. They then left Norfolk Enchants and went and done separate things in their streaming career, etc. And they were always, I followed quite a few of the Norfolk lads from playing a few games with him and his friend.
Yeah.
But I never really, I did want to join, but I was told it would be too difficult, trials, it'll take ages. And I'm I'm not always the long-term thinker.
I'm not always the success.
I'm not always the, okay, well, maybe in 3 months' time, I'll be a part of the team. I'm like, well, I'm not going to be a part of the team next week, and I'm getting more kills than you today. What a joke. I don't want no part of it. So, I was lucky enough that, because I didn't really have many people to play with when I started streaming. The people that I played with off stream didn't really want to be a part of it, whether or not it was, they never really spoke about it, whether or not it was their voices on the stream or having to watch their language or what. We kind of just drifted away.
Yeah.
And I was lucky enough to, if you heard of Nitro Luke, I think Josh spoke about him before.
Yep.
He used to run customs for his supporters. And at the time I was a supporter. I ran into a guy that you've probably seen me play with, Danny Gow.
Yep.
And I played with him pretty much every day, barring the days that I had off since.
Nice.
And we tried to do the same concept as Norfolk Enchants, because we were aware of the overworld tournaments that sort of Luke runs, and the concept of them. And obviously we had seen Norfolk Enchants in there, and we'd seen other teams coming through Norfolk Enchants, multiple teams in one tournament. So we tried to almost copy the concept to run our own thing. And we started a team called Team Vortex. That it took us, I would say, a solid 2 months to think of the name. It then lasted a solid 2 weeks. Maybe a bit longer. Maybe I'm over exaggerating. But there was a few people in the team that really just put bad vibes, shit on the whole concept. And we were like, do you know what? Can't be asked. And actually, it's thanks to Danny, who said to me, why don't you speak to JD and see if Norfolk would be interested in taking some of the team on? And we disbanded Team Vortex. JD at the time had raided me a couple of times, as if to say, by the way, we're still here. So if ever you want a conversation, we'd have that conversation. The minute I messaged him, he was like, I'm putting it in the group chat. Well, hold on. And straight away, it's like, yeah, we're all for it. We'll take you boys. From then on in, that as a main has helped my mental health. The guys in this team are absolutely insane. Of course, you're always going to have big personalities. You're going to have shy people. You're going to have people that get involved more than others, especially when you have large groups of people. But I can honestly say there really isn't anyone that I do not get on with, that I can't have a good laugh with, and that hasn't supported my stream and what I do, or given constructive criticism and feedback and helped me. So number one, it has helped my mental health. Number two, massively helped my stream. I went from no viewers, maybe one viewer, 10 reactions, which some are me reacting to my own stream, my family, and a couple of friends, and 10 comments, to generally averaging at the moment between 40 and 50 with over 100 comments. Some incredible people sending donations in stars, etc. Secondly, improve the stream immensely. And thirdly, and most importantly for me, changed not just my mental health, but my life. I have made some genuine friends for life. And you've probably seen on our Facebook pages that we just had a weekend where some of us got together and they came down to where I live with their other halves and stuff. And we went out and drunk some more and drunk a bit more. And we had a lot of fun. And honestly, I know, and it's hypocritical. I'm very much like that. I can be a hypocrite. I was contemplating before Norfolk and Chance, do I carry on doing it? Now I can't understand how I ever actually had any fun or motivation to do it in the first place before Norfolk and Chance. Josh has done an incredible job since it kind of broke down when one of the founders left to do their own thing and one of the other members left with him, and it kind of broke down, and Josh and a couple of the other lads were like, do you know what, we're going to keep it going, and they have done an absolutely incredible job. I have been lucky enough to be sort of added to, it sounds so cheesy, like managers side of it. I help Josh and the other guys now run the team. But honestly, all the praise to where the team is now and to the direction it's going is Josh, because he has so much passion for it, and that really helps the team members get behind the team because they know that it's being run by someone that cares so much about it. And there's not a lot more else I can say about it. All I could say is watch our streams and see when the Norfolk boys come in, how the stream dynamic just changes. That we're all there to support each other as a community. We have our group chats, we have our banter, and sometimes the banter goes a little bit too far, but that's life. That's life among friends, right? It's not true friends if you're not bashing on each other a little bit. Absolutely. I can say I have watched your streams. I have watched the tournaments. And it's true, the Norfolk and Chance guys, when you guys all get especially mic'd up together, in Call of Duty, your communication is insane. In games like when you are playing Minecraft, like there was today, and even your Rocket League. I've seen guys like Jack. Is Jack part of Norfolk and Chance? He is. Yep. He is. Yep. I've seen him get absolutely bamboozled in Rocket League, playing in, but the just the fun time that you guys all have when you get together, it is amazing to see. And we always talk about it with streamers, how it's about growing the community, it's about meeting people. The fact that you guys have not only met those people, you've come together, you've had the weekends together, you've done those kind of things. It's friends you've made for life, and I think that makes streaming alone a success. Absolutely. Right? That's what I said to Josh, to be fair, before they actually come down, is look at what streaming has actually done. We are in a couple of days going to be meeting each other for the weekend. You're going to stay at my house. You're going to meet my children. We're going to go out and get drunk. And that's just through meeting each other through streaming. And again, just that whole going back to the beginning, why did you get into it? What would you do if you stopped doing it? There is always going to be opportunities for streamers to create good lifelong friendships, and I generally believe that the people that I have met will be lifelong friends. So we talking about that and how they've helped the stream grow over the last while that you've been in Norfolk and Chance. You've been streaming for about the 7 months now. You've seen your success. You're starting to hit that level. You're starting to hit that growth. You're starting to hit those stars, those everything else. What do you see as the goal moving forward, let's say for the next 7 months, right? What do you see as the goal? Where do you want to be?
obviously it comes down to making friends and everything along the way, but is there any kind of set targets you've set or what you want to be doing or new games that you want to start introducing? Where do you kind of see it going?
So you may well have noticed that I don't often stream on my own a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I generally stream when I've got people to play with. I'm not a great single player person. So in sort of the forefront of my mind alongside my
This is what we talked about the managing the time. Take your time.
Say hello.
Hi.
What is that? That's Sean, PlainGuy from the PlainGuy Show. Can you wave? Yeah. Good girl. Are you going to go to bed now? No. You're going to go and see mummy now? Come on then. There we go. A second.
Well, while Weavers deals with that, no, that's a perfect example. We talked about managing the time and everything like that, man. That is what. There you go.
Well, the PlainGuy Show has seen my eldest daughter and got a wave, so you should feel privileged.
I do. I feel like we may have to pay her royalties for her appearance.
Absolutely. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, make me some money. Let me retire early.
So, as we were saying, where do we see the stream moving forward? You're not a fan of, you don't play a lot of stream by yourself. You like to do the multiplayer and with other people.
Yeah. So in the sort of forefront of my mind, I think a lot of my time will go into developing and helping to develop the team and getting the team recognized and being a part of that community and that team that grows. Obviously, it goes without saying, I want my stream to continue to grow. And I'd like to see probably more consistency. I could sit here and say, look, in 7 months' time, I'd love the supporter badge, and I'd love to be making more of an income, but that's not what it's about. And to be realistic, just a bit more consistency, having more regular viewers and more unique viewers that come in to watch me. Right. And stick around to talk and what have you. That's probably my biggest goal for my own stream. It's just to have those people that have got to know me through me and get to know other people from coming from me, rather than other people coming from other people's streams to, go and check Weavers out. People that have found me, stick with me, and then go and branch out to my friends and my teammates, and I've come from Weaver's stream. I'm one of Weaver's followers. Do you know?
Yeah.
So building kind of
the same way I came from JD Hawk to you, and
absolutely,
I went from James owner op to JD Hawk to you. And from you, I don't know if I branched off to anybody off of you. Like if there's anybody I seen on yours specifically that I went, because all you guys most of the time are the Norfolk guys, so it's all the same.
You don't need to branch off any further. You've ended up where you need to end up.
Listen, you have made it to your final stop. This is the show. What are you looking for? You made it. We're done.
Absolutely. Yeah. What do you want? I got it. You tell me what you want, I'll give it you.
Oh man, that is awesome. Weavers, it has been the only thing we didn't go over, and I don't know why I knew this but didn't know this, is the origin of the name Beavers. We all call, for anyone missing, we like to call him Beavers. Yeah. Partially because I'm Canadian, it makes more sense to call him a beaver. And because I think it's great just to pick on him. But the name Weavers, the logo, the everything, where did you get the idea from?
So I had a completely different idea.
Right.
I was going to be called Vigil Andy. So my name is Andrew. My first name is Andrew. Okay. And I was going to be called, and I was talking to the guys that I played with before I started streaming, and they were trying to help me. And it was like days on days and days. Like, I can't think of a name. I haven't got it in me. I can't think of anything catchy. And then we come up with Vigilante.
I like that.
And done a bit of searching online. Wow, I can have that name. Awesome. What are we going to do for a logo? Thought of a logo idea. Then I thought I'll do one more search. And all of a sudden I found a YouTuber that has a YouTube channel called Vigilante and posts loads of gaming stuff. So I was like, back to square one.
Yeah.
And quite honestly, I thought, well, my name is Weaver. Why not just put a Z at the end of it? My surname is Weaver.
Mm-hmm.
WeaverZ. I've always been called Weaver, from Weaver or Beaver Boy. I've been called my whole life.
Boy.
Beaver Boy.
Thank you for giving me that ammunition.
Beaver Boy or Weaver Beaver, the Disco Diva. I've been called that as well. So
you guys are creative over there.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, we've got it. I've always not, my close friends have never called me Andrew or Andy. Well, don't call me Andy in front of my mother because she will not be impressed.
Really?
Oh. Absolutely not. My name is Andrew. If she wanted me to call me Andy, she would have called me Andy. But WeaverZ is something I've always been called. So I thought, well, WeaverZ with an S doesn't look right. WeaverZ with a Z, capital W, capital Z, awesome. Obviously in my logo, it's all capitals.
Yeah.
And then I think, as most streamers do, you go and look at the cheapest option to start. I think you do. You look at the cheapest option to start. So I have a look online, logo creators, blah, blah, blah. You type in a load of things, it gives you ideas. And I saw the hands and I thought, now that is, in my opinion, unique.
Yep.
And simple. And I think if you overcomplicate graphics, it becomes unmemorable.
Yeah.
Something unique, that is my sign. I don't really use it very often on stream.
You're not just like walking around throwing gang signs.
When I end my stream, I probably should, say goodbye. But
just do your eyes.
I find it very cheesy, but I like it. I do like it. I love the fact that on emojis on your phone, there are two hands next to you. I have my own emoji already. I never had to pay for it. Yeah. And no one else uses that emoji. That's the WeaverZ emoji. So, as boring as it is, it's my surname with a Z on the end. Yeah. It's catchy. People now, if you called me Blue Dragon 74, it'd take me a while when they're in game saying, "Hey, Blue Dragon, he's over here." Yeah. I've been called WeaverZ my whole life, so when someone shouts WeaverZ, I know they're talking to me.
That's fair. We have similar. We got a couple buddies of ours that we all have the same first name. We're all Sean.
Yeah.
So we've all it's last names when we're all together. It's just last names.
Are you all spelt the same? Because that reminds me.
No, they spell theirs the wrong way. I spell mine the proper, the SHAWN. Yeah, and they spell theirs every other crooked way possible.
Yeah, there is a comedy sketch in the UK. I can't remember. I think it might be a comedian called Michael McIntyre, and he speaks about how the same name is spelt differently. So you've got like Shawan, and then you've got Shaun, and Cian.
Yeah. It's true. It's true. There's 3 ways to spell it. Anyone who doesn't spell it my way, their parents were drunk. Yeah. Or they didn't love them. That's what it comes down to. That's just what it comes down to. Anytime I meet somebody that's got it, I save all the other ones in my phone. They're saved as my.
I don't know how you can be called Sean, SEAN, because Bean is BEAN. So surely you're Sheen.
The English language, I've gone over this on my streams. The English language is a messed up language.
Oh, 100%.
Right. I speak French as well. And so I think that's hated over in the UK, right? I think I'm like a. You guys do you allow French in? Do they stop you at the border if you speak French?
Well, we're not massive fans.
But like the French language, the Spanish, every other language in the world will take a word like pineapple, right?
Yeah.
Every other language in the world is anana. It's A's with N's and an S at the end, and there's different hats. It's the same across every country, every language for the most part, other than Asian. I don't know how the Asian language goes, but any, written language, it's all the same. Yeah. And then you get to the English language and they go pineapple. And it goes like, guys, we had this one figured out. The rest of the world had this one figured out. And you guys just decided, nope, pine, apple. Looks like neither of those things. Let's call it a pineapple. So as for the spelling of Sean, I don't know I know some are Scott. Like mine is the Scottish way, I want to say. I know
yours makes sense because take the N off, Shaw. Yeah. Yep. Shaw, yep. N, Sean.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the other ways, the
AU, I understand. It's just the
Shaun.
Well, I need to remind you guys, and I think was it on yours today? I posted it, or JD Hawks, I can't remember, but hey, 3 has a T and an H, not an F in it.
True.
Because you guys, I always hear it. I hear the free. And I'm like, wait, no, it's a T and an H. It's not free. It's a 3.
Free.
Oh, no, I love the accent. I love the everything. WeaverZ, you have been an absolute pleasure to sit down with, my man. I'm glad that we got a chance to talk about the mental health and everything.
Absolutely.
I think that is important. Guys, if you are in the UK area, and I'll add some more into the description on the video, anytime you need someone to talk to, by all means, reach out to one of the streamers. You know, we reach out to a guy like Weaver, like
Absolutely.
myself. We're always happy to talk. If you are in more trouble like that, you don't feel comfortable talking to us, there is the text shout. It's gonna be up here somewhere,
up there somewhere.
up there. You text the shout to the number above from the UK, and you will hopefully get the help that you need. And we wish nothing but for the best for you. So, on behalf of the PlainGuy Show, I am PlainGuy. This is WeaverZ.
You do that every time. Why?
I know. You think I'd learn by now. WeaverZ, thank you for coming. I can't wait.
You're more than
to see
welcome. Thank you.
on the next one.